A young boy in South Africa inadvertently discovered the remains of a couple dating back nearly 2 million years, which are now thought to play a crucial role in advancing our understanding of human evolution. In 2008, 9-year-old Matthew Berger and his dog stumbled upon the partially fossilized bones of an adult female and a juvenile male within a cave in Malapa, near Johannesburg, South Africa. Since the discovery, there has been ongoing scientific debate regarding whether these remains represent a species distinct from those previously identified. The bones have been identified as belonging to a close relative of the Homo genus and are classified as Australopithecus sediba, Au. Sediba, with Australopithecus meaning southern ape. Recent studies suggest that these remains represent a crucial link in human evolution, bridging the gap between early humans and our more ape-like ancestors. Australopithecus sediba is believed to be an intermediary species between the 3 million-year-old ape-like Australopithecus afarensis, famous for the specimen known as Lucy, and the tool-using Homo habilis, which existed between 1.5 and 2.1 million years ago. Notably, the newly discovered Au Sediba skeletons are even more complete than the renowned Lucy, whose 1974 discovery was previously unparalleled in its completeness. The anatomical features observed in Australopithecus sediba are compelling us to reconsider the evolutionary path that led to the emergence of humans, stated Jeremy De Silva, a co-author of the study. Standing approximately 1.2 meters tall, Australopithecus sediba shares a similar body size and shape with other Australopithecines. Despite its small stature, this species exhibits a range of anatomical features that reflect both its primitive roots and its evolutionary advancements. One of the most intriguing aspects of Au Sediba is its brain. With a relatively small brain size, estimated at around 420 cubic centimeters, this species falls within the range typical of Australopithecines. However, what sets it apart is the asymmetry between the right and left halves of the brain, a characteristic also observed in the Homo genus. This suggests that while brain size remained small, the organization and functionality of the brain were beginning to evolve in ways that would later be seen in more advanced hominins. The skull of Australopithecus sediba further illustrates the species' position on the evolutionary tree. Compared to earlier Australopithecines, it exhibits minimal cranial cresting, and its cranial vault shares a similar shape with A. africanus. The face of Australopithecus sediba lacks the pronounced flaring zygomatics, cheekbones, seen in Australopithecus africanus, but retains a generally similar appearance. However, the species shows more advanced facial features, including a derived facial mask characterized by a more prominent nose, nasal ridge, and brow ridge, alongside less flared cheekbones. The small cranium with a transversely expanded vault, slight post-orbital constriction, and weakly arched supraorbital torus, brow ridge, are all indicative of a species that was on the cusp of significant evolutionary change. The jaws and teeth of August, Sediba, are another area where we see a mix of characteristics that link this species to both A. africanus and early Homo species. While the overall jaw structure and dental features are similar to A. africanus, Yao, Sediba lacks the extreme post-canine megadontia, large back teeth, seen in A. garhi and Paranthropus species. Instead, its teeth are more similar in size to those found in Homo species, with relatively closely spaced premolar and molar cusps. The jaw of Au Sediba protrudes less than those of earlier Australopithecines, and the front of the lower jaw is nearly vertical with a slight bony chin, traits that are more derived towards Homo. The species also exhibits weakly defined buccal grooves on the upper molars and smaller postcanines, features that further align it with Homo lineage. Additionally, it has a moderately developed canine fossa, a parabolic dental arcade, and relatively thick tooth enamel, further highlighting its transitional nature. The limb structure of Australopithecus sediba reveals a species that was still closely tied to its arboreal, tree-climbing past, while also being adapted for bipedalism. The upper limbs are relatively long with large joint surfaces, a feature common among Australopithecines, indicating a continued capacity for climbing. Primitive features are retained in both the upper and lower limbs, but several key aspects of the hip, knee, and ankle suggest that Au-Au-Ju, Sediba, was also a capable biped. The foot bones, while primitive, resemble those of other Australopithecines, and the hands, though curved like those of other Australopithecines, are more compact. This combination of features suggests that while Au-Au, Sediba was still adapted for life in the trees, it was also developing the anatomical traits necessary for life on the ground. The pelvis of Australopithecus sediba is another area where we see the blend of primitive and derived characteristics. Similar to other Australopithecines, the pelvis is structured for bipedalism, but it also shows derived features in the ilium. These features anticipate the reorganization of the pelvis and limbs seen in Homo ergaster, African Homo erectus, highlighting Au. Sediba's role as a transitional species. Currently, there is no direct evidence of tool use or other cultural practices associated with Australopithecus sediba. It is likely that this species lived in a manner similar to Australopithecus africanus, adapting to a comparable ecological niche. While it is plausible that Sediba utilized simple tools such as sticks or scavenged animal bones, there is no indication that stones were deliberately shaped or modified for use. This suggests that, although Sediba may have employed basic tools, its cultural practices were likely minimal. Approximately 2.5 million years ago, the woodland environment of South Africa began to dry out, leading to the expansion of savanna grasslands. Australopithecus sediba inhabited a predominantly flat landscape characterized by a mosaic of grasslands interspersed with patches of woodland. Fossil evidence from cave deposits where Australopithecus sediba remains have been found includes numerous animal bones, such as those of saber-toothed cats, indicating a diverse and dynamic ecosystem. Although detailed analyses of tooth wear and isotopic data have not yet been conducted, it is reasonable to infer that Sediba had a diet consisting of fleshy fruits, young leaves, and possibly small mammals or lizards. This diet would have been well suited to the varied vegetation and prey available in its environment. Australopithecus sediba provides a fascinating glimpse into the complex process of human evolution. Its combination of primitive and derived features underscores the idea that our evolutionary history is not a straightforward progression, but rather a mosaic of traits that evolved at different rates and in different combinations. As we continue to study this species, Sediba will undoubtedly offer further insights into the origins of our own genus, Homo,